Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Master Wing. We are playing the Automa today with the Oceania cards. Really like this expansion, and when you don't have a partner to play with, you play against the Automa. So here's our starting hand. We have Visionary Leader and Anatomist for bonus cards. We stick with Anatomist. And I like the Australian Reed Warbler, the Grayheaded Mannequin, and the Masked Lapwing. We're not going to keep Gold's Finch or the Cassowary. We keep a worm and a seed, and of course you keep one nectar to start the game. And we have a bunch of egg end of round goals. So we're going to see if we can make this work versus the Automa. Starting off with the Australian Reed Warbler, play another bird in your wetlands, but with a 1 egg discount. So that's a really strong opening move with the Masked Lapwing. Reset the bird feeder, then for each type of food in the bird feeder, gain one of that type. So we gain like 4 food with the Masked Lapwing. Really like that bird, and if you have one of those food die that have 2 food on it, you can still get 2 food. So that was a strong move. The Automa gets an egg, and that's about it. As for us, I like this Australian Nightjar. Usually when I play versus the Automa, pink powers come in handy. We also draw blind from the deck, and that's the end of our turn. The Automa does the pink powers right before we can get the Nightjar down, so that's unfortunate, but the Automa didn't score any points that turn, so that's good. So here we are finally playing the Australian Nightjar. We keep it in the grassland. I want to put the many-colored fruit dove in the forest. The Nightjar lets you gain a worm from the bird feeder if there is one. So Automa goes, they get to pick a bird from the tray. Their bonus card is Wildlife Gardener. So if there is not a bowl nest in the display, they get to pick one from the deck. We are playing on the Automa's highest difficulty, so every face-down card is going to be worth 5 points. And here we are playing the many-colored fruit dove. All players gain 1 berry from the supply. You gain 1 additional berry from the supply. So 1 activation, and I can get 2 food from the many-colored fruit dove. Don't have any eggs. I elect to lay eggs this turn, and the Automa gets an egg as well. So we don't have many power birds, but we already have 4 birds, and we have 3 turns left in round 1. That's kind of how Oceania is. You get more birds on the board faster. I do have the Grayheaded Mannequin, but I elect to draw cards here. I want something else, or at least a choice. I get a red-winged parrot and the Spangled Drongo. And the Automa does their pink powers, and our Nightjar activates because there was a worm in the bird feeder. And here we are playing the Grayheaded Mannequin. Goes with my Anatomist bonus card, lets me play another bird for 1 egg discount at the end of the game, and it's also a star nest. First end of round goal is birds that have a platform nest that have an egg. And so we're going to lay eggs here for our last turn of round 1. And the Automa adds 1 to their end of round goal as well, and scored 5 points. So we're going to end up tying this end of round. You can also see I'm settling the nectar for the Automa. You have to draw 2 cards, and depending on what the Automa cards say, you have to add or subtract nectar in each habitat. So yeah, we are going to tie that end of round goal. Now we shuffle the Automa deck. It is a lot to keep up with if you haven't played the Automa in a while. Just a lot of things going on. You can forget to do something. We may even make a mistake in this game, but so far we're okay. We're going to reset the tray. We have the brown Falcon. Looks like a New Holland honey eater that lets you gain nectar in the grassland. And the pink-eared duck lets you draw 2 cards, but you have to give 1 to another player. We are playing the Automa Cash variant. It's not the Horde variant. There's an Automa Horde, and then there's also a mechanic called Automa Cash. And Automa Cash, anytime you give resources to the Automa, you give them food tokens. You give them 2 food tokens per resource. So if it says all players gain a berry, I'm going to be giving them 2 food tokens. If it says all players lay an egg, you give the Automa 2 food tokens. And then at the end of the game, you will be dividing up all those food tokens for eggs. It sounds more complicated than it is, but take a glance at the rule book and it explains it very nicely for you. We elect to gain food right here, and we gain 2 berries, but like I said, since the Automa gets a berry, we gave them 2 food tokens. We also grabbed the brown falcon and the New Holland honey eater earlier. I just thought we may use the brown falcon for sure, maybe the honey eater. I elect to go with the red wing parrot. It says give 1 nectar from your supply to another player. If you do, lay 2 eggs on this bird or gain 2 food from the bird feeder. So a little flexibility there. You can lay eggs on the bird or grab 2 food. And the Automa lays 2 eggs and takes away an action cube from their goal. Looks like it is eggs in the ground nest for our end of round goal. Nothing in the tray that's super appealing. There is that predator power worth 7 points, but I'm happy with our card draw at this point. So we gain food here, trying to get some more nectar. That's not as much nectar as I wanted. Since we are starting with the highest difficulty for the Automa, I think it's called Eagle-Eyed Eagle. Each habitat is starting off with 5 nectar, so that's quite a bit to try to catch up and compete. We elect to grab 2 more food with the red-winged parrot, and we are able to grab a little bit of nectar there, and then the fruit dove. So in that 1 turn activation, I just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just received 7 food because we discarded an extra card, 2 birds in the forest, and we had 7 food. Pretty powerful forest there. We play the brown falcon. It says look at a card from the deck. If its food cost includes a worm or a rat, tuck it behind this bird. If not, discard it. So I thought that had pretty good odds for a tucking predator power. And the Automa is resetting the bird feeder, it looks like, and our nightjar gave us a worm. Like I said, with the Automa, pink powers are usually pretty good. And since we're getting now 6 or 7 food per forest action, I'm not as concerned about playing the Spangled Drongo. Everybody says that bird is amazing, and it is, but since we have plenty of food generation, I think I'm going to neglect the Spangled Drongo. The Automa, I think, laid eggs that turn and got another egg in the ground nest. We are going to lay eggs ourselves and discard some of our extra cards. And the brown falcon was unsuccessful, unfortunately. Automa, there were no bowl nests in the tray, so they get another face down card. And that's the end of the round. We're redistributing the nectar on their habitats here at the end of the round. And I think we may win this end of round goal. I think I have more eggs in the ground nest than he does, than the Automa. Yeah, so we win that end of round. Obviously, if you've never played the Automa, it is a very different style of play. It feels like you need to be more concerned about end of round goals, more concerned about what is in the tray. If there's a bunch of 9-point birds, you know, denying a bird for the Automa could be a better move than when you're versus, a human player. Anyway, we're already in round 3. Our end of round goal is eggs in the bowl nest. We don't really have a great, grassland habitat, but if you get 3 birds in the grassland for Oceania, it can still let you lay 4 eggs if you discard cards or food. So I'm kind of happy about getting to that 3rd slot. The Automa does pick up some more bird points here, and that lets us reset the tray a little bit. The Cockapoo and the Rufus Owl is 2 birds I'm really looking at. Yeah, I go ahead and draw those 2. We do have a budgerigar in our hand and a couple other forest birds. I think I picked up the lyrebird. The lyrebird lets you copy a brown power in your neighbor's habitat. And if you look at the rule book, it says if you have a copy bird, you're allowed to copy any bird in the display tray. So that lyrebird or the tui or any other repeating powers that require your neighbor, it's probably busted because the lyrebird could choose from 3 different birds. Anyway, we play the Rufus Owl, draw 1 face-up card from the tray with a wingspan less than 75 centimeters and tuck it behind this bird. Nice little 6-point bomb, and it feels like you have a better chance since you get to see the birds in the tray. The Automa is grabbed a face-up bird card that time and added another egg in their bowl nest. And nothing special in the tray. There is a crested pigeon. I believe it lets you cache up to 8 seeds on your bird, but we do not go that route. We are going to try to gain food and get some more birds down. During that last draw action, I did pick up the Australian raven you see laying down there. That's a 7-point yellow power bird as well. So I'm looking to play that eventually. Rufus Owl was successful, and we're back at the red Wing Parrot. Really strong forest engine. I think with Oceania, there's a lot more ways to score, lay eggs, draw cards, etc. Looks like we elected to gain more food with the red Wing Parrot. And the many-colored fruit dove, again, 6 or 7 food resources in that one turn. I'm thinking any extra food that I have at the end of the game is going to go on to that Australian raven. So feeling pretty good so far. Our anatomist bonus card isn't doing well. I think we have the red Wing Parrot and the masked lapwing, which is 3 points, but it's not a killer bonus card right now. So I'm trying to decide what bird I want to play. I don't have any nectar in the wetlands right now, so I decide to play the Kiwi and save the Australian raven for when I have some nectar to spend. The North Island brown Kiwi, we've seen this before. Discard a bonus card. If you do, draw 4 bonus cards, keep 2 and discard the other 2. So here we are replacing that anatomist bonus card. And we will fast forward, save you the suspense here of doing all the calculations. We end up keeping ecologist and forest population monitor. Forest population monitor is a bonus card. If you have different nest types in the forest, that's how you can qualify for that. And it looks like the tray is being replaced with Major Mitchell's Cockapoo and Plains Wanderer and another forest bird in the middle there. I'm not 100% what we saw there, but the Plains Wanderer is another bonus card bird that I'm kind of liking for later. Major Mitchell's Cockatoo, I think you have to have some extra resources to perform an action. We elect to lay eggs here. Our brown falcon was unsuccessful, cannot tuck the little penguin. And the Automa gets 3 eggs. But one less egg in the bowl nest. And that is the end of the round. Oh, that tray reset was for the end of the round. I'm sorry. So we are just settling the round end powers. We did that a little out of order, but I didn't want to discard more Oceania birds when that's what we are trying to see. We score the end of round goal. We get second there. I think we had 5 eggs in the bowl nest, and the Automa had 7. So here we are, 5 turns left. I don't have a ton of great birds I want to play. I do want to get that Australian raven down. I also have a yellow power Cockapoo that lets me get more bonus cards, and that's what we elect to do. It says at the game end, draw 4 bonus cards, keep 1 and discard the other 3. So a nice yellow power there. We're hoping it pays off. The Automa round 4 is doing some bird feeder stuff, and we get to activate the Nightjar again. And the Automa did not score points that time, so I'm happy about that. The Automa does have a lot of eggs, though, and face down cards. Looks like we are gonna draw cards here. We draw blind, nothing, and then we pick up the Plains Wanderer. And then the Black Swan pops up. That's a game end power. I think it says lay eggs on any birds that are greater than 100 centimeters. Maybe 110, I can't remember. But that Black Swan would have been better than what I picked up. Don't want to waste another round 4 turn drawing cards. So this game, since we have plenty of food and we have plenty of cards, it's really just turning into play high point birds or lay eggs. And we are getting some extra food to do so. Remember, I do plan on playing that Australian raven, so any extra food can be cashed on that card. And I also have that mannequin in the Grassland. Trying to prepare for this game end so I can play another bird. Remember that fruit dove and that red wing parrot, you got to give food tokens to the Automa if you give other players a resource. The Automa gained 5 points on its turn. We only have 3 turns left, and I finally have some nectar to spend in the wetlands because I want to at least qualify for the nectar battle. I've said this before, but it says cash up to 5 food from your supply on this bird, plus it's 7 points. Not bad. I play it in the wetlands, like I said, to qualify for nectar. It looks like we're going to lose all the nectar battles on each habitat. But that 4th slot in the Grassland, extra cards, extra food, you can still lay 4 eggs. So I'm still liking our score. We've got, 11 birds on the board. Definitely going to be a triple-digit game. Our brown Falcon is finally successful. And the Automa gains another 3 eggs, and I think they add another set of 3. 4th end around goal is sets of 3. With all these egg goals, probably could have searched for more egg-laying birds. But we are discarding our extra cards for eggs, since it's our highest scoring habitat still. And that's the end of the game. We do our end of round goals. We do tie. We each have 4 sets of 3. I'm double checking that the end of round goal is scored before the yellow powers, and it is. We need to settle the Automa's nectar. Looks like they gained another nectar in the Grassland and nothing else. So we finally get to do our yellow powers. We're going to do the Cockapoo. first. We get to draw 4 bonus cards, discard 3, and keep 1. Save you the suspense again. We keep Cartographer for 7 points. It regards geography terms. And then the Plains Wanderer, draw 1 bonus card for each bird in your grassland. We got to play the Plains Wanderer because we played the Mannequin. So I get to draw another 4 bonus cards. And we end up keeping good old Oologist. And remember, we cash our extra food on the Australian Raven. Tallying up the scores, the Automa beat me 56-48 on bird points. Bonus points, check it out, 24 bonus points. End around goals, we tied. The Automa had more eggs and beat me on the nectar battle. We had a few tucks and a little bit of cash food, but we pull off the victory, 109-103. I think bonus cards was the game changer. And with Oceania, more birds on your board, you're going to really have to pay attention to those bonus cards. Feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.